Hey, what is up everyone? Coach Danny. In this video, we're gonna show you guys a workout routine for boxing that Alex and I have been doing today. All right, so the first thing we're doing is warming up. Very important to warm up before any boxing session. So here, today we're gonna be working with 2-minute rounds. If you feel like it, you're gonna set it up for 3. But for 2-minute rounds, the first one is going to be skipping rope. So if you notice here, all we're doing is regular skipping rope. Alex just skipping the rope here with 2 feet parallel. You're just bouncing. It's very important to never have flat feet on the ground. If you notice here, we're just bouncing on the balls of our feet. Regular bounces, 2 feet together, and sometimes gonna be alternating, shifting the weight from the left to right foot. Once we've ended up our skipping rope, what we're gonna do is take a 30-second pause, all right? Only 30 seconds because the rounds are short. And now we go back again into our second round, and once again skipping rope, but this time we're gonna use the heel-toe variation. All right, if you notice here the way he's skipping, now we're going bouncing from the left to the right foot, bouncing from the heel to the ball of the foot. All right, this is referred to as the heel-toe bounce. All right, this is really good to develop that rhythm in boxing. All right, staying light on your feet. And of course, if you were to skip rope using 2 feet parallel at the same time, your calves are gonna get very tired very quickly. So now we're just bouncing, alternating left to right, heel and toe. Once again for 2 minutes here. Then we're gonna take another pause for 30 seconds. Now our third and final round for the warm-up, once again using the skipping rope. This time, if you notice, Alex is incorporating the boxing stance. All right, he's got 1 foot in front of the other and skipping rope in this fashion here, using his boxing bounce. All right, this is really good to develop that rhythm once again, staying light on your feet, all right, and be able to push off to the back and the front foot, to move forward, also to retreat. Now that our warm-up is done, what we're gonna do is finalize one more round. Here we're bouncing or even running in place and punching towards the ceiling. And this is really good to develop that shoulder endurance and keeping your hands up. A lot of people always question, what are drills that I can do without any equipment to keep my hands up, right? My shoulders are always getting tired during the fight. This is one of those drills. Do this for the entire round and you're gonna see, you're gonna develop some really good shoulder endurance. All right, now we're starting into the second phase of our boxing workout. What I like to do in every boxing session is incorporate a few rounds with set particular techniques and then use those techniques and train them either with a training partner on the focus pads or solo on the heavy bag. So the second phase is gonna be the solo. This is the shadow boxing part of our workout. In our first round, you can set it up for 2 or 3 minutes. Once again, our first round here is going to be incorporating the 1-2. If you notice, we're throwing the left-right straight punch. We're taking a little pause, moving around, then throwing the 5 and 6. That's the left and right uppercut. And then throwing the 3 and 4, which is the left and right hook. All right, moving around. Once we've done those 3 combos, we're gonna punch all 6 punches together. So 1, 2, 5, 6, 3, 4. All right, so it's jab cross, left and right uppercuts, left and right hooks. All right, we start the process over for the entire round. So the 1-2, the 5-6, the 3-4, and then 1-2, 5-6, 3-4 non-stop. And we continue the whole combination process for the entire round. All right, in the second round of our shadow boxing, this time, we're gonna throw a classic, the jab cross hook cross, also referred to as the 1-2-3-2. All right, so this is a really good combination to throw, always finalizing with a power right hand. So if you notice here, every time we're gonna throw it, it's very important to stay with your hands tight, punches are loose, very snappy, right? You're just shadow boxing here, but use movement after every combination. So in this case, jab cross hook cross, move around. All right, in our third and final shadow boxing round, this time we're gonna use some counter punching. So now here we're gonna throw the 1-2, jab cross. Now I want Alex to slip towards his left side, away from my right hand. And I want him to counter back with the hook and the right straight, hook cross. All right, one more time. You see the jab cross being thrown, he's gonna slip my cross and comes back with a hook cross counter punch. This is gonna be the first half of the round. Now in the second half of the round, he's gonna throw the jab cross or the 1-2 once again, but this time he's gonna slip outside of my jab towards his right. And then his counter, and with his counter, it's gonna be the cross and left hook. All right, so one more time, jab cross, he slips away from my jab, counters back with a right hand and a left hook. So in the first half, we're throwing the 1-2, slipping to your left, hook cross counter, and the second half, we're throwing the 1-2 once again, slipping to the right, and cross hook counter. This is really good because now you're learning a counter back on the side where you slipped your weight, all right? So if you're slipping and moving your body towards your left side, your left hand is the power shot. And if you're slipping and moving your body weight towards your right hand should be your first power shot. All right, now we're moving on to partner training with the focus mitts. So we're gonna repeat the same 3 rounds that we just did in shadowboxing. All right, so the first round what we're gonna do is move around. We're gonna throw the 1-2, move around a little bit, show the uppercut left and right, move around a little bit, and the left and right hooks. And then incorporating all 6 punches. So instead of going 1-2, hook, hook, up, up, we're just changing the dynamic here to add some variety. And we're showing the 1-2, 2 uppercuts, and then 2 hooks afterwards. All right, just breaking it down this way. All right, so once again, you move around with the pads, you throw your jab cross, slight movement, throw your uppercuts, slight movements, and then your 2 hooks, slight movements, and then all 6. 1-2, up, up, hook, hook. All right, into our second focus mitts round. This time we're gonna throw the jab cross, hook, cross, but you're gonna see the movement in action here with a partner. All right, so the mitt holder has to represent your opponent. All right, so a good mitt holder is critical for these types of rounds. So as he throws the jab cross, hook, cross, you'll notice sometimes I feint forward to put pressure, and I want him to choose 3 options. He's gotta either move back to create that distance, or he's gonna move on an angle from left or right sides. All right, so as he throws the jab cross or cross, you see me put pressure forward. He's gotta opt to either move away from me to create that distance, or choose to angle on the left or either angle on the right to move out of range. So that way there he doesn't get backed up against the corner or against the ropes, all right? Sometimes on the jab cross or cross, I'm gonna throw a jab. You see him there slipping his head, sometimes ducking underneath, or sometimes I might throw a right hand. And then he's gonna slip outside the right hand or just parry it, whatever it is, but I want movement. So it's very important after your combinations, especially when you're gonna go 3 or 4s, 5 or 6 combinations, to move right out, because the opponent's not just gonna stand there. If they don't get knocked out or rocked, of course they're gonna answer back. So you gotta be out of range so you don't get caught yourself. All right, round 3 on the focus mitts is going to be identical as round 3 of our shadowboxing. So he's gonna throw the jab cross on the mitts, and then he's gonna slip my right hand. That means he's slipping towards his left side, and he's gonna counter back with a left hook and a right straight. All right, so once again, 1-2, that jab cross, he slips outside my right hand, and he counters back with a hook cross. Now in the second portion of this round, 1-2 once again. This time I'm gonna throw a left hand, and now he's gonna slip on the outside of that left hand and come back with a right hand and his hook. All right, if you notice here now his body weight is shifting on the opposite side, counters back with a cross hook. All right, so slip the jab, come back with a cross hook. As I said earlier, every time you slip on the one side, that's your loading side where you return that punch first. All right, so now we've done our 3 rounds of shadowboxing and our 3 rounds of focus mitts training. We're gonna end up with some drills. All right, so the drills that I have for you guys is head movement. All right, super critical if you want to gain good success in the sport of combats such as boxing, kickboxing, whether it's Muay Thai, mixed martial arts. You got to be able to have some good head movement. All right, so from a very early age, I started training Alex, my own son, with a lot of defensive techniques. All right, as he started training Muay Thai, I was focusing as much or even more on defensive maneuvers than attacks. All right, a lot of people learn how to throw kicks, punches, knees, etc. I wanted him to learn head movement first. All right, why? Because I think it's super critical. I think it's most important to know how to defend than it is to attack. All right, if you have good defensive techniques, you're not going to get hit. All right, imagine you have all the attacks in the books, but you're getting punched flat out in the nose or in the face or even on the chin, you get rocked. That's not good, right? So I want him to have good longevity into his fighting career. So head movement, super, super critical. All right, so here we're doing this drill where one person is throwing defensive jabs. That means I'm backing out, and he's moving forward with pressure stepping forward, but using his slips side to side against my jab, left to right side as such. All right, so very important drill. So moving forward with your head movement as you're moving to pressure in on your opponent, but knowing that he's going to be countering. All right. Now, in the second drill, what we're doing here is the opposite. I'm doing offensive jabs and he's doing defensive slipping. All right. So I'm moving forward, pressuring with my jabs, and you see Alex moving backwards defensively using his footwork, but also learning to move his head outside of my punches. Very, very critical drills to practice, whether you do it stationary or if you're more advanced. You can do with movement and footwork like we're doing here. This is very important to practice on a regular basis. All right, lastly, to finish our workout, which takes about 45 to 50 minutes in total if you do 2-minute rounds, or an hour if you're gonna throw in 3-minute rounds, all right? What I'm having Alex do here is just cover, block, slip, or roll under the punches of the noodles, all right? Very lightly here. So sometimes I'll be throwing like straights, he's moving his head left or right. Sometimes I'm throwing looping hooks, so he's gonna be wanting to roll underneath those noodles, and sometimes he's just gonna opt to cover using his forearms or his hands to block the punches, all right? So he wants to choose to slip, roll, duck, cover, block, whatever it is, but I'm just throwing. Sometimes it's just singles or 2 or 3s, all right? So just nice and light with the noodles that way there. If you miss, there's no hard contact, very good drill to train, and this is great for a cool down period at the end of your session. All right, guys, so there you have it. A really good boxing session. If you guys want to try this, write everything down on a sheet of paper, stick it on your wall, follow this. All you need is a timer. You can do this solo. If you don't have a training partner to hold the focus mitts, just do it on the heavy bag, for example, or do 2 cycles of shadow boxing. That's just as good. Guys, hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure to like and subscribe to our channel for more boxing videos just like this one. We will catch you in the next one. Take care.
Look